asked the grand jury to return a first-degree murder indictment against Karmelo Anthony, which they did.
What happened here was very clear from the beginning. Anthony went into a tent where he didn't belong. He was told to leave. He responded to that by stabbing Austin Metcalf to death. Update to a story we followed very closely here. Collin County District Attorney Greg Willis announced the results of the grand jury indictment in the Karmelo Anthony case. Karmelo Anthony, of course, is the guy who stabbed Austin Metcalf to death. We followed that story very closely. And here's Greg Willis announcing the grand jury's decision a couple days ago. Listen.
Good afternoon. Earlier this spring, our community was shaken by what happened at a school track meet in Frisco. The violent loss of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf. For weeks now, my team has been presenting evidence to the grand jury, and today I summarized that evidence, and I asked the grand jury to return a first-degree murder indictment against Karmelo Anthony, which they did. With this indictment, the case now moves formally into the court system. From this point forward, we'll continue doing our job both fully and fairly to pursue justice under the law. As for the scheduling of the trial, that will be up to the court. But when the time comes, we will be ready. Now, we know that this case has struck a deep nerve here in Collin County and beyond. And that's understandable. When something like this happens at a school event, it shakes people to the core. But let's remember that the justice system works best when it moves with steadiness and principle. That's what we're committed to, and that's what this case deserves. We're also mindful of Austin's family and everyone who loved him. Please keep them in your thoughts, and if you're willing, your prayers as well. Finally, let's remember that a defendant is presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty in a court of law.
So, first-degree murder charge, what does that mean? It means this is a slam dunk case. It means the self-defense claim is completely bogus, which any intelligent person already knew that. They're not going to seek, much less would they get a first-degree murder charge unless they have this guy dead to rights, which they do. And there's a lot of evidence here. First of all, there's the fact that the killer confessed to it right away, so that's a pretty big deal. He stabbed someone to death. He stabbed someone in the heart and confessed to the cops. Said, "I did it." So, and they have eyewitnesses. There were people all around, and they have video. And we don't know exactly how much video they have, how many videos there are, how much footage there is. But we know they do have video. The odd thing, though, is that we haven't seen any of the video. There were security cameras at this track meet. There were people all around. All of them obviously had phones. And yet we've seen no footage from this incident, not even footage after the incident. I mean, you're really going to tell me that it's possible that nobody caught the actual stabbing itself on their phone. That's possible. Even that, I would expect somebody did. But are you telling me that nobody in the immediate aftermath pulled out their phone and filmed anything? I mean, it would be the first time in the last 20 years where there's been some kind of dramatic incident and people were around with phones and no one at any point pulled their phone out. That's hard to believe. We do know, though, that for sure that they have this surveillance footage, that was released about a week ago, sort of released. There was a very small collection of journalists who were permitted to watch it and report on what they saw, but they couldn't record it. They couldn't publish the video. They could just watch it and describe it. And the Daily Mail was there. They were one of the select few outlets that were allowed to see this. And I'm going to read a little bit of their write-up. This is from a few days ago. It says, on Monday, the Daily Mail became one of only 2 news organizations granted access to surveillance footage of the deadly incident, a killing that shocked the nation and ignited debates about race, privilege, and criminal justice. The 40-minute surveillance video recorded from a stationary camera on the opposite side of the football field captures the 10 minutes leading up to the attack and the desperate efforts by Metcalf's twin brothers and others to save his life before paramedics arrived. Metcalf, a student at Memorial High School, was stabbed after confronting Anthony, who attended Centennial High School, about sitting under the team of a tent he was not affiliated with. Anthony has admitted to the stabbing, but maintains he acted in self-defense. Initially, Frisco police said an altercation between the teens led to the violent encounter. However, the footage reviewed by the Daily Mail at the Frisco Independent School District's headquarters shows no obvious physical confrontation between the two prior to the stabbing. The Daily Mail did not detect anything that indicated chaos was about to ensue. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, it becomes apparent that the moment has happened when an armed Anthony attacked Metcalf. The stabbing itself is not visible on camera. While other video angles may exist, the surveillance reviewed appears to challenge the self-defense claim, offering little visible evidence that Anthony was in immediate danger before the attack. You may feel like you keep juggling expensive supplements that are just getting more unaffordable to keep up with. If that's the case, then Everyday Dose will be a lifesaver for you. Everyday Dose transforms your morning coffee into a powerhouse of vitamins, minerals, and amino acids, all in one affordable cup. Just 30 seconds to prepare, and you're getting your caffeine fix plus all the nutrients your body needs. One delicious cup, one simple solution. Everyday Dose isn't just coffee, it's coffee plus benefits. They've infused their 100% Arabica beans with lion's mane, chaga, collagen protein, and brain-boosting nootropics for clean, sustained energy without the crash or jitters. You can choose between their mild Coffee Plus, which is light, smooth, and gentle on sensitive stomachs, or Coffee Plus Bold, which is a rich, full-bodied medium roast with an extra energy kick. Both deliver the same functional benefits and undergo rigorous third-party testing to ensure you're getting the best quality. Your brain and body will thank you. I'm looking forward to giving it a try myself. Get 45% off your first subscription order of 30 servings of Coffee Plus or Bold Plus. You also receive a starter kit with over $100 in free gifts, including a rechargeable frother and gunmetal serving spoon by going to everydaydose.com/Walsh or entering Walsh at checkout. You'll also get free gifts throughout the year. That's everydaydose.com/Walsh for 45% off your first order. So there you go. We still haven't seen the footage ourselves, but the Daily Mail saw it. I don't know why. I don't know why they're doing it this way, and why they'd only invite 2 news outlets to view the footage. And, they say there's no indication of self-defense, no indication that Anthony was in any kind of physical danger at all. Because of course he wasn't. Of course he wasn't. What happened here was very clear from the beginning. Anthony went into a tent where he didn't belong. He was told to leave. He responded to that by stabbing Austin Metcalf to death. The idea that he could have legitimately feared for his life at a track meet when he has decided to walk into this tent, like it's a tent, right? You could walk away from it. There are countless angles where you could leave the tent, right? So the claim never made any sense. So he's in fear for his life, but he's come to this tent. He's told to leave, and he fears for his life, but rather than just leave the tent, he stays, and he's the only one who's armed in this encounter, and yet he's the one who fears for his life. What's he worried is going to happen? He thinks the opposing track team is going to gang up and kill him. Is that what he thinks? No, of course not. So why did he stab him? Well, for the same reason that people are killed every day in the inner city in particular, which is for no reason, just pure nihilistic violence for the sake of it. That's why. And the fact is that black teens like Karmelo Anthony commit violence like that all the time. Right? That's it. And here's the truth, and we all know this, that if you're in a situation, again, this is one of those things, it's so many cases where we're all supposed to pretend we don't know things that we actually know. Or we're supposed to act confused about things. Well, what do you mean? He just stabbed him? This young man was told to leave a tent, and are you claiming that he would just respond violently to that? What? Well, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what happened. And we all know that. I mean, if you go up to a young black male who's being disruptive in some way, or he's somewhere he's not supposed to be, and you tell him to please quiet down or to leave, there's a chance that he responds with violence. Not in self-defense, not because he thinks his life is in danger, but just to prove how tough he is, just to inflict violence for the sake of it. Right? We all know that. Which is why in so many cases, in similar sorts of situations, the white people around in many cases are not going to say anything because they're worried about this exact kind of response. And they're not worried because they're racist. They're worried because They're capable of basic pattern recognition. They know they have some basic idea of the data, the statistics. Like statistically, young black males are more violent than any other demographic group. Everyone just knows that. If you have a group of black teens in a movie theater who are being loud and disruptive, like very often, if you've got white people around, they are going to be very hesitant to say anything, to say, hey, could you guys quiet down? Because they're worried about exactly this kind of response. And is that fear baseless? No, of course it's not. So that's what happened here. Which makes it first-degree murder, and that's the charge. And yet this guy is currently out on bail. Okay, this is pretty rare. You have someone on a first-degree murder charge who's facing life in prison and is out on bail right now. And why would that be rare? Well, because the flight risk now is monumental. This he's facing the very real likelihood, what should be basically a certainty, that he's going to prison for the rest of his life. Now he's got nothing to lose. And on top of that, this family has just been gifted $500,000. So the flight risk is very, very high right now, and yet he's currently out on bail. So the whole thing just makes no sense at all. If you'd like to see what else I have to say, you can access my full show by going to dailywire.com or by going to the Matt Walsh Show Twitter page. Hope to see you there. Godspeed.